That's not a knife. That's a knife. Welcome back, everybody. Faithful EDC here with you today. Today we got two pretty similar knives from two pretty big manufacturers here. We've got the Heretic Mini Pariah and the Spyderco Para 2 that we're going to put up against each other today. Before we get to that, just want to announce at 500 subscribers, we're going to be giving away the CJRB Pyrite Light and this Wii knife roll. This knife roll will hold 10 of your pocket knives. Great for carrying them around, taking them to events, or, you know, just a storage device. So make sure you share these videos out. Let's get some more people joining and subscribing, and we'll get this guy and given away, and we can work on our next one. All right, let's get to it. You all have seen my Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Maybe one of these days we'll change the scales on this back to the OD original digital camo G10, just for fun and taking it back to its original look. But we've got the Para 2, and then we have the Heretic Mini Pariah. This is the Blade Runner Outpost exclusive. It has glow-in-the-dark scales, and the Blade Runner Outpost Snuggle Bear on the side of the blade from the factory, from Heretic themselves. They put that on there. This is a tanto harpoon blade shape, and then of course we have the famous leaf shape from the Spyderco on the Para 2. Overall, both of these knives are really great. Similar in size, similar in, you know, you got your blade hole. Great carry piece, super sharp, super usable blades. The tanto, I'm not a huge fan of the tanto blades. I don't have very many of them. As a matter of fact, I think I might have 2 or 3 tanto blades. I would like to change that and get a little bit more into tanto knives, but I am more of the Wharncliffe or sheep's foot blade fan. This right here is the blade shape that I like more than most blade shapes. So getting away from that and trying to expand my blade shape horizon. So let's get into making some comparisons here. So the Spyderco and the Mini Pariah here are pretty much dead on same length. So 4 3/4 of an inch closed, 4 3/4 of an inch closed. So that's dead on same length in the closed position. Now let's get this guy open, get both of these guys open, and let's go overall length here between the two. We have the Paramilitary 2 at 8 1/4 inch. The cutting edge is 3 1/8 with a 3 1/2 inch blade. The Mini Pariah is 8 1/8, so the Spyderco has it beat by 1/8 of an inch overall length. So bigger opened length for the Spyderco Para 2. We have a 3 3/8 inch cutting edge with a 3 3/8 inch blade. So that blade from tip to this choil here at a direct angle is the same length from tip to this handle scale. So where the Paramilitary 2 has this blade area that's non-used, this area in the Spyderco, I really like it. It gives you a place to choke up on your blade. Excellent jimping on the front or on the top. Excellent jimping on the bottom. Gives you somewhere to hold on to and choke up on, so you're not all the way back here at the back of the blade. So I really like that design out of the Para 2. And most all Spydercos have that. Not every single one, but most of them do. And I really like that feature. This Mini Pariah, the handle is super comfortable in the hand. There is no forward choil, so if you get up here, you're getting into the blade, right? But it has, I don't want to say more aggressive, it has deeper or wider jimping. Let's get these both up here so you can see. So on the bottom is that Mini, the Pariah Mini, or am I saying that right? Yeah, the Mini Pariah. See how they're bigger, like deeper grooves compared to the Spyderco? This grips my finger a ton. I mean, you can just see how my thumb is rocking back and forth on it. And this Mini Pariah, yes, it does the same thing, but it's not as sharp, which is good to a certain extent. You don't want it cutting your finger, but it could easily slide in hard use or wet hands, slippery hands, compared to the sharper and more put together jimping on the Spydercos. But this, with this being the harpoon blade shape, it's got this ridge up here. So we're on your Paramilitary 2. Yes, you can use the back of the blade for precision work. There is nothing that stops that finger on the Para 2. So I guess tanto, I'm not 100% sure. Tanto is more like a piercing blade. It gets you a lot of meat right here where all these, I want to say angles. I'm not really 100% sure what this one would be called up top, but the angles all meet. It gives you a lot of thickness right there behind the edge. Super good for piercing, piercing through material. But also with this harpoon shape here, it allows you to make really accurate detail cuts, right? Having your finger in a good stable position towards the tip of the blade is going to give you better precision. Now, with it being tanto, I don't know that this is the precision blade that you want to use, just because there is two edges. I find myself a lot of time using this edge right behind this edge to start my cuts instead of using the tip. The tip, like I said, was for piercing, and I utilize this a lot for my basic cuts. I don't know if you can see this on the camera here. It might not show through, but there is a lot of wear marks, coming through on this edge of the blade, and there isn't as many up here on the edge or on the tip, on the tanto portion. Right, so I utilize this portion of the blade a lot more than the tip, whereas on a drop point or on a sheep's foot blade, if you utilize the tip for piercing, you're utilizing that whole blade. So I think that's more of why I'm not a huge fan of tantos. I really want to get my hands on a full-size Pariah in the drop point blade shape, and not the tanto variant. They just released a black and red G10 that is super nice, but it's also $500. So that's a little bit out of the knife budget currently. So this Pariah is a plunge button lock. So it's got a little cylinder that hits into the back of the blade. So as you push it down, you can kind of see here, that is where that button activation or that button lock locks into, in that little divot right in there. Whereas in the Paramilitary 2, if I turn this over, you're going to be able to see this. So that's basically a liner lock, but it is on the top of the blade. So as I push the OCD for EDC button for the compression lock, that liner, so it's the top liner compression lock, will actually activate. So that's using a bigger chunk of steel to keep this blade locked from shutting down, right? So it locks into this big groove here. So that's a lot. I feel it's a lot more stable, a lot more sturdy than a plunge lock. I've had a little bit of issues with this button lock, not only on this Pariah, but also on other button lock knives, to where, you know, these buttons can spin. So if somehow this button gets spun 90 degrees, the button, the blade won't open. I have to utilize the button lock to open the blade. So I don't know whether that's a groove inside that button plunge lock that is not allowing it to be able to be opened without pushing that button. But this knife here should not have that issue, and it has. So maybe I need to contact Heretic and ask them what the solution is. But with this being a glow in the dark, it's a plastic handles. There is no liners, so it is a super lightweight knife in the handle, so it makes the blade a little bit heavier. The weight is perfectly centered there over the pivot, but it just feels like I'm holding nothing. And then there's a big blade out on the end, whereas with, you know, steel liners, the whole knife is weighted. So I like the liners. I mean, granted, this is a great knife for like ball shorts and stuff, to where it's not super heavy. But we'll get into weights here in just a second. So we've got our overall lengths, including closed and open. So I guess we are going into the weights now. Can we see this screen here now? I think you can see that. Yep, you can see that. Now we weigh this on almost every one of these videos, so we should all know what this one's going to be, right? 4.55, 4.56 ounces. So I've not done this, so I don't know. Maybe I was talking myself into a corner earlier. Nope, as I expected. 3.73, so a lot lighter of a knife. They both have brass beads on it. With this being a white-ish color and a black, I chose to put the Stormtrooper helmet that is cracked with a skull on the inside. I chose to put the Stormtrooper bead on this one. It looks really good. I really enjoy this bead on and lanyard on this knife. But yeah, that's what I was expecting. This one to be quite a bit lighter. It just feels that way in the hand. So let's do some cutting here. We all know the Paramilitary 2, make sure I don't get my finger in there, is going to cut, is going to slice excellent. Still working on the factory edge there. I have sharpened this knife. So this is not factory edge, but it also, I don't want to say it needed a sharpening, but there was a burr I think I put in it somewhere. I'm not sure what I cut into that caught it, but there was a burr halfway through, so that's why I did sharpen this. I tried doing the strop, I tried doing the honing rods, and it just wouldn't come out. I even sharpened this front portion here, and as you can see, I just pushed that knife. It doesn't even have to slide with that edge I put on it, so that is incredibly sharp. So, yeah, now let's get to the cardboard. Again, we're going to know that the Paramilitary 2 S45 VN blade, the Mini Pariah, I forgot to mention that, is a Magna Cut steel. Excellent blade steels on both of them. I love both of these knives. I love both of these blade steels. So I can't complain with any of them. And you see, as I was saying, a lot of my cuts never make it out to this tip. Maybe I need to do my research, and maybe this tanto point isn't, maybe I'm using it for the right way, or using it the right way. Maybe I'm not supposed to use this tip for anything except for piercing. Maybe I should do a little bit of research of that, but I utilize the flat portion of the knife more than I utilize this tip. So I guess that's one of the main reasons why I don't really enjoy the tanto knives. I want to be able to use the whole blade, tip to choil, and not be burdened by having a tanto. So like these knives, you start at the choil while you're cutting, or you start at the tip and you work all the way down, or you work from the choil and work all the way to the tip. So that's why I choose that Wharncliffe blade shape. Love it to death. A lot of my knives have that blade shape, and it's just, that's the way it's going to be because I like it. But I think that's all I have for you today. Down in the comments, or down in the description, sorry, I have a link for Olights. If you need any Olights, the O-Clip Pro, my favorite variant of the O-Clip series, and the Warrior Ultra, one of their newest tactical flashlights. Super bright, super long throw, and of course, if you need an Arcfield Pro, my #1 top rated EDC flashlight, use that link down in the description to pick you up an Olight. I also have a link to HX Outdoors. This knife here was sent to me by HX Outdoors for a review. Didn't believe I was going to like it as much as I do. Everybody needs one of these knives. I wish everybody would understand that this knife is awesome for $29. So granted, these knives run $30-ish to $40. Great knife here. Can't complain about that. But I think everybody needs one of these. HX Outdoors, rock fluorite, TD15T. It's got D2 steel, titanium handles, liner lock. It's just a great, great knife. Absolutely love that. So there is a link down in the description for the HX Outdoors website. I do have a coupon code. We'll save you 10% off. Josh Hyder 10 will save you the 10% off. And I also have a link to my TikTok. Over there, I am working on getting up to 5,000 subscribers. Once I hit 5,000 subscribers, I can bring you guys more shoppable videos, or bring them more shoppable videos over there, and get more good products, more reliable products. I'm being pretty picky at what I'm promoting over there. So if I'm promoting it, it's going to be a good product. So, alrighty. I thank each and every one of you for showing up today and watching this video. If you've made it this far, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe, share it with your friends. And as always, take care of yourself and God bless.